Good afternoon. Hope you're having a great weekend. It is Sunday, June 23rd, 12:29. Sorry, there's a smudge on my phone right where the clock is at. 12:29 p.m. Central Daylight Time, local time here in Oklahoma City. I'm at the place where I pay to park the truck. Oh my goodness, I've been out here for probably 13 or 14 hours working on my truck. What in the hell have I been doing? Well. I've been installing an air conditioner. You see that little white rectangle on the back? That is a mini split air conditioning unit. It's basically the same thing that the APU uses, a mini split, except this one is not designed for a truck, it's designed for a house. So as you can see, the exterior of the mini split for the APU air conditioner is right there, and there's the new one I just installed. So I'm taking a little bit of a break because I've been dealing with drama. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we'll talk about the air conditioner installation. Before we get to that, let's talk about some drama that happened this morning. There's a guy that's leased on with Oakley that parks in this spot right here. And he pulled up here, and there was some woman in a pickup truck and him, and they were just parked here for a long time, a couple hours. And then finally, I was walking from my truck to my car to get some tools, and he walks over to me and he starts asking me like if I know of a way to get a hold of the people that run this place. I was like, well, they've got an emergency contact number. He's like, yeah, I've been trying that and I can't reach anybody. And then he goes on to start telling me what the problem is. What the problem is as you can see, there's RXO trucks all over the damn place. There's a bunch of them over here. There's a bunch more over there. RXO rents a lot of parking spots here. They started renting spots a year or so ago, maybe 2 years ago. I can't remember exactly. It's been 1 to 2 years that they've been renting a bunch of spots here. Well, it's a bunch of company drivers. And I don't think that they know which spots are RXOs. I think some of them probably think this is an RXO terminal. I have no idea. Well, what happened, this guy had his trailer parked right here in his parking spot, and one of these RXO company drivers parked in front of his trailer. And he was calling RXO and the company here that owns this property that we rent from, trying to get somebody to get a hold of somebody to move the truck. He even tried calling a tow company to get the truck moved, and tow companies refused to tow it. So he was asking me for help in reaching somebody, and I told him that, I asked him what time it was, and he said it was 6 a.m. And I said, well, Bill gets here real early. He usually gets here by 6 a.m. I'd go up and check the shop and see if there's somebody there. And he drove up there and checked and came back, and nobody was there. At that time, I didn't know it was Sunday. I thought it was Monday. It wasn't until I started making this video and I checked to see what the date was that I saw that it was Sunday. I was wondering why there was so little traffic around here. There's usually a lot more movement. So, yeah. All right, I feel bad about sending him up there on Sunday when they're closed. But he came back out here, and I tried calling a few phone numbers for him, and I couldn't reach anybody either. And I said, did you check and see if the truck's unlocked? And he said no. And I walked over there and checked, and it was unlocked. And it had the keys in the ignition. And I said, well, it's unlocked. It's got the keys in the ignition. If it were me, I'd move it. He said he had a load he had to go pick up. So he was going to miss out on a lot of money if he missed that load. I said, for thousands of dollars, yeah, I'm moving the truck. And he said, but it's got a camera in it. And I was like, I don't fucking care. I said, you know what? You've already been talking with RXO, right? And he said, yeah. I said, well, give them a call and let them know that it's unlocked with the keys in the ignition and ask for permission to move it. So he did. And the RXO person said, the guy left the door unlocked with the keys in the ignition? He's like, yeah. He said, he's going to get in trouble. He said, I can't give you permission to move it, but you got to do what you got to do. And I can understand that, because technically, for insurance reasons, you know, some manager or dispatcher or whatever cannot give permission to move it. So I told him that all of these spots over here along the fence are unassigned. The property owner, those are his spots. So I told him what I'd do is I'd move it right over there in one of those spots. And that's what he did. He said he had another truck that he was going to park in that spot. But he decided against it because he was afraid of retaliation by the company driver. He was afraid that whenever the company driver came to pick up his truck, he'd get pissed off and slash his tires or something like that. Or maybe if the company driver ends up getting fired or something, he'd retaliate. And he said that this has happened several times to him in the past in this parking spot. He didn't say specifically it was RXO drivers, but he said that he's had a lot of issues with people parking in his spot, and he's tired of it. He said that he's gonna, they just recently increased the monthly cost to park here as well. And he said with all the BS he's dealt with and the increased price, he's done with it. He said he's gonna go and start parking over on the other side of town. There's a much better place to park on the other side of town, but it's like twice, well, it used to be twice as expensive, but with the increased costs here, it's not twice as expensive anymore. But they have 24-hour security there. They have somebody that actually checks you in and out of the gate. Whereas this place just has a gate with a code on it, and it's, you know, not the most secure place. But they have a tow truck on site at the other place. If somebody's in your spot, they'll tow them like immediately. I think. I've parked over there quite a few times, so I've never done the monthly parking. I've just done daily. They charge $10 a day to park there. So back when I was a company driver and I would just be home for the weekend for like 3 days, I would park over there and pay $10 a day to park. But so that's the drama. So let's get back to the air conditioner. Oh my goodness. So it was a two-part installation. I planned on installing the entire air conditioner out here, but sorry, there's a spider on my arm. But the that external unit that right there that you can see, that rectangular unit, the outside unit, I could not fit it in my car. I know. Why in the hell do I have this car with this job? Doesn't make any sense. Well, when I bought that car, I had an office job, and this car wasn't even my primary vehicle back then. I had a Kawasaki Ninja ZX6R, a 636. That was my primary commuter. The only time I ever drove this car was to like get groceries or on a bad weather day or something like that. And then I got into trucking. I sold my motorcycle, but still have the car. I would like to get something more practical for moving things back and forth to the truck. But anyway, that's something That's a whole other discussion. So what I ended up doing is I drove all the way over here in my car, got the truck, and then drove the truck all the way over to my house. This was like Thursday or Friday night, in the middle of the night. I got the truck over to my house at like midnight, and it's took me about 4 hours from like midnight to 4 a.m. to install that external unit onto the back of the truck. The way I installed it is I created a rack to give it more support. So there's sheet metal that has holes in it, and I use bolts to bolt the sheet metal together to create a frame around the unit. And then I used, it's going to get loud because the APU is running, and then I used cable ties, or not cable ties, but you see the cables? I used wire cable, really thick wire cable, like 3,000 foot-pounds wire cable around each corner, and I wrapped that around the frame. I was gonna do U-bolts, but God, to find U-bolts big enough to go all the way around the frame, that was not easy. So I was like, why not just do cables? They're stronger than U-bolts. So, and it'd be a lot easier, and they were. But it still took me like 4 hours to install it. Getting the cables cut to the right length was a pain in the butt. I had to redo the cable length of every cable probably 4 times so that I could get them to the right length to where they would cinch up really tight. And that thing is on there really, 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 really well. After I got it all mounted on there, I grabbed a hold of it and shook it. It did not budge. The whole truck shook when I shook it. It is really solidly attached to the frame. So that's what I did a couple of days ago at home. And then last night I got here probably around 11 p.m. 10, 11 p.m., somewhere in that area. And I've been here since then installing the interior unit. I had to cut some holes in the sleeper to bolt the interior unit in. I had to cut a hole for the hoses to run out. Yeah, just a whole bunch of crap. And it probably would have taken somebody else less time, but I am just a very slow person. I'm very meticulous. I'll sit here and think about doing something for like 30 minutes before I actually do it. And if I don't get something right, I will completely redo it. I'm not the kind of person that will like get it on there and I'm like, oh, that's good enough. So it takes me forever to get stuff done because of that. Oh, here comes somebody rolling around. It's probably one of these RXO company drivers. It's gonna be hilarious if it's the one that has the truck that got moved. But oh, he's just like parking out over there in the middle of nowhere. Maybe that yellow truck's his. But yeah, I got the interior unit mounted, got all the cables run. Basically this is just, it runs off of 120 volt electricity, like a standard appliance in your house. So how is it getting 120 volt electricity? Carrier's APU has a 120 volt generator on it. So I just hooked it straight up to the generator. The generator has 3 wires that come off it. Well, it has 2 wires that come off of it. And then there's a third wire that's connected to a ground that runs into the circuit board. So it's just a live wire, a neutral wire, or a positive, a neutral, and a ground. So I just connected them right there like that. The bottom 3 wires are the ones from the generator. Black is the positive or live, white's the neutral, and then the bare wire's the ground. Hooked them up to the corresponding wires for the air conditioning unit, and it's running great. I've had one issue with it after I installed it, and that is that water was draining out of the unit instead of draining out of the hose. But I think I figured out what the problem was. My truck, even though I paid $5,000 to City Trailer here in Oklahoma City to straighten out my truck, because whenever I first bought the truck, it had a really bad pimp lean to it. It leaned way to the left, like really bad to the left. Well, I paid them $5,000 to fix that, and they fixed it a little bit, but it still has a lean to the left to it. Well, when I installed the air conditioner, I brought a level with me, and I was going to put it in there level, but it didn't line up with the truck because the truck leaned a little bit. So I was like, I don't want it to look weird in here. So I decided to line it up with the truck versus the level. So the drain plugs on the left side, and the unit leans a little bit to the right. And this is causing water to not drain out the left side of the plug properly. So I did some MacGyvering and got it to lean a little bit more to the left, and I've been checking it, and water has started draining out of the hose. So let's see if we can see some squirt out here in a minute. That's not good. It should basically be constantly coming out. It was coming out earlier. It's probably coming out the right side again. No. It was like pouring out of the right side last time. There's some pouring out. Okay, so it is draining properly now. I might see about tweaking it a little bit more to get it to lean a little bit more toward the drain side. But it looks like we're good to go now. So what are my thoughts on the unit? First of all, let's go over the cost. How much did that unit cost me? $430 plus shipping and handling. Shipping and handling was expensive. I can't remember exactly how much it was, but I want to say it was like $100. So $530 plus tax is how much that unit cost me. But I had to buy a ton of crap to install it. I had to buy a drill attachment to be able to cut a 2-inch hole in the truck. That was $50. I had to buy a vacuum pump, which is, you can see the orange vacuum pump right up here on the catwalk. I had to buy that vacuum pump and cables. That was like $100 or $150. All of the sheet metal and bolts and washers and nuts, I probably spent $300 on that stuff. I had to also buy a skill saw, which was $100, and I had to buy a ferrous metal blade, something capable of cutting steel. That was another $50. So, I don't know. There was a lot of stuff that I had to buy to do the install. So, and then this thing on the back right here, this is the storage shelf that normally goes in the very top where the air conditioner's at right now. It has the speakers mounted in it. The speakers were just wired up with this quick disconnect, so they were really easy to disconnect. I was hoping that the speakers were separately mounted so that they would stay there, but they weren't. No big deal. I had to take that out to be able to install the air conditioner up high enough. If I would have installed the air conditioner any lower than it's installed right now, then the fan would be blowing directly on me while I was in the bunk. With where it's installed at right now, it's high enough up that it'll blow over top of me instead of blowing directly onto me. So how well does it work? It works really well. Amazingly well. How well? It works about as well as the main truck air conditioner running full blast. It's incomparable to the APU air conditioner. The APU air conditioner sucked. If it was 100 degrees outside like it is right now, direct sunlight, middle of the day, I would be lucky if I could get it down to 85 degrees inside the truck with the APU air conditioner. With the main air conditioner, with the truck running and the cab and the sleeper air conditioning units both going, I could get it tolerable inside the truck. I could get it down to like 75. This thing does a little bit better than the main truck unit. When I shut it off earlier, I let it run for about an hour, and then I saw the water leaking all over the place and I shut it off. When I shut it off, it was 65 degrees in the sleeper. So, yeah, that means that I can sleep in the truck in the middle of the day when it's brutally hot like it is right now, and it'll be like 65 degrees in the sleeper. It'll actually get colder than that because it's getting at 65 degrees in the sleeper right now without the curtains pulled, without any of my, I have insulation cutouts for all the windows that I put up, and then I pull the curtains, and it really, really helps a lot with the air conditioner being able to keep up. This thing is getting it down to 65 degrees inside the truck without any of that stuff. That is insane. This thing is way, way, way better than the APU air conditioner or the main truck air conditioner. Now, given I think that there's an issue with the main truck air conditioner, I've had the shop here check it out and make sure that its coolant level is good, and they told me it is, but they didn't even turn the truck on whenever they checked it. And I looked at how to check an air conditioner to make sure, you know, the Freon and everything is correct on it. And the video that I watched, they said you had to turn the vehicle on and let the air conditioner run for a while to be able to check the levels. So I think the people here don't know what in the hell they're doing. So I either need to figure out how to do it myself, or I need to take it to somebody that actually knows how to work on an air conditioner and get all the levels charged up and get it vacuumed and all that stuff. Because I think the main air conditioning system on the truck is not working properly. But aside from it cooling off the truck, amazing. What else? It's also extremely quiet. Like, I can't hear it running. It's whisper quiet. Even the outside blower unit. Yes, if you're outside, you can hear the blower unit. But I can't hear that blower unit over the APU running. So with that APU running, I don't hear the air conditioning unit at all. What else is nice about it? It does not blow really hard air. The main truck air conditioner and the APU air conditioner use small vent hoses, which causes the air to move really fast. So the air coming out of the vents blows really hard. It's annoying. It's really annoying. Whenever you turn the APU air conditioner on, or whenever you turn the fans up really high on the truck unit, because the air coming, the air circulation in the truck it's like trying to, do something on a windy day. This unit moves a lot of air, but it has a massive vent that it blows it out of. So you can feel the air coming out of the vent, but it's not blowing really hard. So it's whisper quiet. The air that it moves around doesn't move really fast, even though it moves a lot of air. So it's just, you hardly even know the thing's going. And it just cools off the truck so quick. So I'm excited. I'm happy about it. And I'm trying to figure out what all I need to do before I head to the house. I need to pack up everything, and I need to take my TV off the mount, because the mounting brackets on my TV broke. So the TV is just being held on by a single bolt because the other three broke off. So I need to take it home and remount it to the bracket. I need to take the TV apart and put a bolt through it. With a washer. So what else do I have to do? The TV, put everything away, clean up. I think that's about it. It is so hot out here. We have a heat advisory. I don't know what the temperature is. The temperature gauge on my dash said it's 113 degrees outside. But whenever that thing's in direct sunlight and the truck's not moving, it usually reads pretty high. I would guess that it's 100. I hope that storage rack fits in the car. I'm just looking at it right now, and that thing's almost longer than my car is. I thought that I could run it, all the way up into the front area, but I don't even know if I could do that. Wish I had a pickup truck. Whenever I bought the car, I thought about the practicality of being able to haul stuff, and I was like, you know what? If I ever need to go down to Home Depot and get crap, I'll just do a daily U-Haul pickup truck rental. It's like $50 a day. But did I bother doing that? No, I've never bothered doing that. Every time I need something from Home Depot I can't fit in my car, I pay to have it delivered. All right, I'm gonna wrap up this video. Let's just double check one more time that it's not leaking water. Oh, it feels so much cooler in here. The temperature gauge up here on the dash reads 85. However, it feels really cool in here. And the thing is that all of these windows up here put off a tremendous amount of heat. So let's look at a temperature gauge. Any water? I'm not seeing any water at all. So yeah, I was hoping that's all it was with the water leaking out, was just that it was leaning a little bit to the right. All right, this temperature gauge, 79. Damn. And that one is 68. So it's 68 degrees up in the sleeper area where I sleep at. That's where the air conditioner is. And it's fighting against a couple of different things. Number one, I have both of the side compartments open. So there is a lot of hot air coming up through the side compartments. And all of these windows are producing a tremendous amount of hot air. So if I were to close the side compartments and cover up these windows, it could probably get it down to like 70 degrees in the whole truck. Oh, it feels so nice in here. See the side compartment open. Oh man. About to chug some water and then get everything wrapped up, get to the house, take a shower and go to bed. Oh my goodness. I am worn out. I am completely worn out. But you know what? I'm not going to get to the house and get to the shower and get to the bed unless I get off my ass and start doing something right now. So let's wrap up this video and I'm going to go start doing stuff. So I hope you're having a great weekend. And I don't know when I'm going to be getting back out over the road. I was not planning on being home this long. It's been like, I think 2 months that I've been home. I'm not sure exactly. And we have July 4th coming up. So generally freight slows down the leading into July 4th, and then it takes a week or two after July 4th for freight to pick back up. So if I leave the house within the next week or so, then I'm going to be, it's already a bad freight market, and then I'm going to be driving during a lull in a bad freight market. But you know what? I'll probably still be able to find something that pays decent. So I don't know. I'm just going to keep trying to get everything ready to get back out over the road. I do have to go get a DOT inspection done on the truck before I do anything. I think my 120-day inspection is actually due today. So I'm going to be put out of service tomorrow, and I'm not going to be able to do anything until I get a DOT inspection. So I'm going to go and yeah, just start getting everything ready to get back out over the road. So anyway, we'll wrap up the video and I'm going to start getting stuff done. So have a good one. Bye.